A privilege to welcome our next keynote profile, Ponsankar Shanmugam, Researcher Innovation in Distributed and AI System USA. His expertise include innovation in distributed and AI systems, distributed systems architecture and scalability, AI-driven system optimization, secure data transfer and communication protocols, cloud native distributed infrastructure, intelligent automation in networked systems. So, his keynote topic is rethinking secure file transfer. So, let us warmly welcome Mr. Shanmugam.
Hello, hi everyone. Good evening. And my name is Ponsankar. So I'm based out of Pacific in USA. Work for one of the Fortune 500 companies as an engineering leader. So thank you for staying late as a Sunday evening. I understand. So let me share my screen to just take you through the topic what I have today. I hope you all able to see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So I understand most of us are very well aware of HTTP, the way how we interact with a lot of internet capabilities through browser and many other ways, including the AI tools. They all happens through HTTP, but very few are maybe more in the business world where we have a lot of topics around how we do efficiently transfer our files. So, and as part of our the business or part of the companies, the way how they manage to transfer a large chunk of files from one entity to another happens through secure file transfer. That is nothing but SFTP in a broader sense we call about. So it is not something emerging, or it is not something just came up now. It has been the case for like close to like last few decades, more around like a 30-35 years now. But the way how this space been supporting transferring files between large enterprises is a backbone, but how the evolution it's stuck somewhere, what sort of problems our enterprise are going through, and what sort of fixes are potentially possible, why it really matters, are the key things we are going to just talk today. So, as you see in my screen, the the protocol heavily relies on SSH encryption, where you connect with a server one and you just get your file transferred to that server or get the things downloaded. And as we all know, AI is one of the dominant or kind of most revolutionary topics or the technology we have it in the current genre. But you know how the learning happens. The learning happens through tons of terabytes of data being streamed from A to B and B to C. Where our servers are there, it learns constantly, hourly, daily, weekly, it learns. How the transfer happens, this protocol is one of the backbone. Literally close to 40% of our global file exchanges are happens through SFTP protocol. Though it's a universal a backbone and being the vital or kind of a link or a channel between a lot of financial healthcare industries, it has its own challenges because the protocol is extremely reliable, but the way how it's architected or it's being leveraged, it's kind of fragile. So on the right side, you see what sort of things are there today. I'll just give a bit more example so that everyone can connect to this topic. Assume you have a server part of your home, and I'm trying to just reach out to the server saying that hey, I have like kind of 10 photos I would like to share with you. So how I do? I just tell the your local server, and I tell, hey, like I need to just transfer the 10 photos with you. What happens? It gives a handshake, and when I just initiate a put, and where I put my files to your server, and then you start accessing to that. So it's simple as that. So now the problem is, if my files or the photos are assumed just taken in a light a pixel. So what would happen? I can send that photo just within matter of few MBs. But what if I send a raw file with you? You need more precision. You need more data to view the details about individual pixel and the photo you want to improve on it. So in that case, what you would end up doing it, you need to provide a bigger sized server, so that if I would like to transfer 10 photos or 50 MBs, so you need equivalent amount of sized servers. So that is where the problem the SFTP has in the corporate world or the business world, where the terabyte of data being streamed. So that puts onus of SFTP servers to be really massive, in the sense like it must not a the way it is, it's not horizontal, it's more vertical. And as you see, because we rely on the vertical infra here, the maintenance, data, sanity, because if server goes down, how to replicate that to others. So lots of problems which exist today. There are few workarounds. There is no such a world that there is no alternate approaches exist. There are few approaches exist, but it has its own problems. What you see on screen. You see, there are like top four what I listed here. So it's a clustered file system. So that's nothing but NFS, or like a clustered FS, where it's a shared mount. The servers are horizontally scalable, but at the same time, it's just access to one single file storage, because it's a shared server locking during a high concurrency. That's a problem happens, because the concurrency locking, there's a latency as well comes up. And synchronous scripts, where people can manage on their own, just copy from A to B and keep the consistency, when the horizontally scaled systems, where still there is a problem of leaving the data dirty in some places. The next is around active passive failovers. This is the dominant one being there in the industry, where you rely on channel one, you just dump every file over there, then post that if that file is getting corrupted, or the server is down for so and so reasons, or even for maintenance. So what would end up happening? There'll be a failover to another one. With the modern era, the way we don't have time to wait for that failover to happen after, like, maybe it takes 30 minutes to 1 hour. We cannot wait for it, because we need near and dear information in our handheld. The next is managed SFTP services. So a lot of global services are there exist today. They provide a cloud based things, but it's more proprietary. It's a long dip, where you cannot think to scale more without paying more money. But in all these problems, except the last one, one problem or one a pattern, what you can see, all these are tightly coupled, the storage with the node level. So with that, a new thought emerges. Is there a way we can decouple these two, a state from the nodes? So state I mean as a storage. Is there a possibility? That is what the proposal here. It's around how the SFTP, it works in a two broader chunks. The server, one is on the daemon, which just listens everyone. Hey, what I need to do it for you, in the sense. And second, what I'm going to do for you, in the sense what I will be doing with the data. So that's a local disk. So it lives in the same entity as of today in the traditional. Where the proposal comes into how we can make it as a two different distinct things, in the sense cloud storage is really cheap today. So a lot of cloud services are existing today, and they're extremely cheap. Blob storages are very cheap, and in fact a lot of NAS services are there elsewhere as well. Even private also can be done. At the same time, the nodes where the heavy the servers are specifically located in certain locations, But with this proposal, we can think it can be distributed globally as well. So what we will be getting out of this, or what sort of key three segments: stateless compute, what we have spoken. So it's a pure protocol gateways. It's not going to have any data in it. It's kind of a stateless with the data what has. Centralized meta, when we call about a routing mechanism through the stateless compute, we would need a meta so that we know what's a pipeline, or sort of the active sessions which exist in the current world. The next one is around the storage. The storage is one of the key played here because it's supposed to handle terabyte of data or petabyte of data seamlessly without much having a downtime or maintenance time in the future, or disaster recovery time as well. We should not have much time to flip from A to B. With that, there is one system approach. This is a simple a concept. It's just a high level architectural view you can assume to. So here you look at the. I hope you're able to see my pointers. So SFTP clients are nothing but individual clients, be it A, B, C, or whatever. They can talk to one layer that's nothing but the routing mechanism, the load balancer, which will be talking to available nodes, because these nodes can be in a clusters. Every node may have certain maintenance as well. In the cloud of nodes, within the clusters, multiple nodes can go at a certain maintenance window. So the load balancer makes sure only active node gets the data, or gets the actual call, or getting the request from the client. So it just knows active, and it knows active client. It's supposed to route through it's a pinning we call. So client to the node, the pinning would be done through load balancer. The next comes around authentication services. There are tons of services exist today, especially SSO services. The architecture can leverage that potentially, so that we can maintain a global store where who are eligible, what sort of entitlements they have, so that they get the right set of access. In a SFTP world, we call put, get, delete, retrieve. Like there are few commands exist, so we can provide complete ACL through that one. And next, the conceptual thing is around registry. It is one global store where all the clients to the node, how many live sessions, what they are up to, what is a path they can do it. Um, Assume in a practical world, we from this forum, 10 of us want to just dump our presentations to a common presenter, or a common organizer. So where what we would end up doing it, we'll be sharing our file, but everyone would be entitled to put in our respective folder, not to everyone else, because there could be chances where we might override others, or there could be some complaints problems too. So that kind of entitlements where the registry offers over here, because every person or every client are allowed to do these many operations in a certain space. So with this, the key block is the storage. We can leverage some of our clouds widely available outside the world. They can be part of this architecture. So registry can provide a meaningful storage path, so that a client over here, so through load balancer, I'm sorry, through specific or any specific available nodes, with the help of authentication and registry, they can able to get to that storage to drop their file, or they can able to retrieve in the future as well. Because when they drop it, they might have an obligation to retrieve those files in the future for read consistency, to ensure that whether I've written perfectly or not. So with this proposal, we can completely decouple the way how the traditional architectural challenges which exist today, and we can have our own ways of having our storage horizontally scalable and globally available. S- Sorry. Okay. So this concept is not pure concept. There are places we have a few patents published in the past, so which is exist today in industry in some segments, especially the places where I'm working on. So this infrastructure have reduced the cost of SFTP servers because they are vertical servers, extremely costly. As we all know that if you buy a RAM with a 4 GB, cost is different when you want to just buy the same RAM, like for with the capacity of 32 or 64. It's not linear cost; it goes exponential. So that's the one you see it here as a benefit, as a foremost benefit. The infrastructure cost reduced close to 60 to 70 percentage. And next, it's a pretty much zero downtime because cloud is always like 6 nines. Okay, so 11 nines are available. Now it has increased. But thing is that the server also has a lot of nodes, cluster nodes. So there are no zero downtime over there. And data durability is extremely high with this proposal because clouds are supporting 11 9 to 11 nines always available. So literally, which means that there's no downtime at all. It's a zero, we can assume that. And the way how the listing responses, it's less than 1 milliseconds. This is one of the huge another big benefit out of this proposal reason. The SFTP servers often it just hung sometime because when it's dealing some certain high volume or high file size where the vertical servers cannot function in the same way when the new set of traffic comes in. So with all the this proposal helped to achieve the four top things. In addition, it just provided auto scaling, centralized SSO, and a soft deletes where this system has more control what sort of deletes operations we are giving it. So especially in the B2B world, for example, movie where we want to just delete it for the users, but we don't want to delete it, just want to purge it in the stage. We all know cloud storage, however, photo archives, etc. It's there for in the trash. So all these functionalities, one another way we can achieve through this proposal in the SFTP protocol itself. So far we've spoken about what has been done in certain segments and as a recommendation. But in addition, what other things can be pursued in the future, especially around edge case caching, so where the 1 milliseconds further can be optimized, and multi-region active where globally the systems or the service can be available, so that like from America, India, like Middle East, like the tons of avenues it opens up, so it's globally available for a large scale computings. And especially for the AI, the training data can come through the entire world without having any downtimes. The next is around AI-driven scaling. Today, it's more predictive, but the way how AI is, it's more it just understand the live traffic, can scale, can reduce it. There are Kubernetes options there exist, but still, this AI-driven can help to better manage that because cost is one of the primary focal point, especially when we talk about large-scale industries. The next is around unified protocol. So this the the proposal based out of our learnings is done for only SFTP. But why not just why just to limit only to SFTP? Why not for SAP or FTPS or any other protocols where largely our industry is using it? We can take it into next genre as well. So with that, key takeaways out of this note, at least from my side, what I'm thinking, it's about how we should think entire architecture through decoupling computes from the storage, and how a centralized meta could help to monitor the segments, what's going on, and the handshakes going around. Next, leverage the cloud natives as much possible, so that we get a cheaper at the same time highly available. The next, enterprise grade results as you have seen. So we have able to achieve at most 60 percentage cost saving, which was a big deal for a large enterprise. This concludes my topic today. I'll open the floor for any questions.
Thank you so much for that knowledgeable presentation. Thank you so much, sir. If any participant has any question, they can raise their hand. So, as there are no questions at
Okay,
this moment, thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.
thank you.